Good evening. In this video, we will solve one more Wipro previous coding question. And the question is, print the Pythagorean triplet for the given numbers. For the given numbers, we need to print its Pythagorean triplet. So input, the first line contains number of test cases and the second line contains two numbers x and y. Here only two numbers x and y are given. Then your output should be x, y and z that form a Pythagorean triplet. That means these three numbers forms the given x and y. You have to identify z and we need to print the three numbers which form a Pythagorean triplet. Now consider the sample input here. Sample input is 3. That means there are 3 test cases. 3 pairs of numbers are given as a input here. Okay, so the first line contains 5, 12. These are the first two numbers. 14, 16 second numbers, second pair of numbers, and 8, 6 third pair of numbers. Okay, so for each pair you need to identify its third number and print the Pythagorean triplet. Now if we consider the sample output for 5 and 12, 13 is the third number and our output should print 5, 12, 13, okay, which forms Pythagorean triplet. Similarly, 14, 16, 14, 16 and 21. For 8 and 6, it is 8, 6 and 10. This should be the output. This is how we should print the Pythagorean triplet. Here only two numbers are given. So third number we need to identify. Third number we need to identify. And if we consider the sample output, just we can get the logic from this. So how we can identify the logic here? Just we can see here, this is the right angle triangle if given. Okay, so what is given? Two numbers. Okay, so those two numbers we should assume as the two other sides of a right angle triangle, 5 and 12, or this is 12 and 5. Okay, so and we need to identify this hypotenuse here. We need to identify this hypotenuse. Okay, so obviously this hypotenuse is larger than these two numbers. If you observe the sample output, see here, 5, 12, it is greater. 14, 16, it is greater. 8, 6, it is greater. Okay, so that means the given two numbers are considered as two sides of the right angle triangle. Okay, then we need to calculate this hypotenuse. How we can calculate this hypotenuse? We know the formula for Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so what is the formula for Pythagoras theorem? C square equals to a square plus b square, provided ABC form the three sides of a right angle triangle. C square is equal to a square plus b square. So we want to calculate the value of C. Okay, so how we get the value of C? C is nothing but under root of a square plus b square. Okay, so a, b are given to us. Then if you calculate square sum of squares of these two numbers and there the sum square root, if you calculate, then that gives the third number. Okay, and these three ABC now form the Pythagorean triplet. Okay, so for each pair your program should calculate. Okay, so here if see here, number of test cases 3, for these three pairs it should calculate and print the three outputs on the screen. If it is 5, there may be 5 input pairs and your program should print 5 output pairs. Okay, so based on the number of test cases your program should repeat. This is the logic. Yes or no? Now we try to implement this logic in the program. We'll try to convert this logic into C program. Now let us move on to our online compiler. Right, this is our online compiler. Okay, so what we required here, we need to slightly modify the code here. So what I do is I just remove all this stuff. Now input format you should consider. Okay, so number of test cases he is giving, no, so you should consider declare n indicates number of test cases. Okay, so immediately you read this n value. Okay, so now say scanf percentage d. In online test environments, you should not write any printf statements before scanf statement. Print enter n value, print enter abc values. This kind of printf you should not write. Okay, because that input is already available in their test cases. Okay, files it is available. So automatically the environment reads input from those test cases. Okay, so that's why you should write only scanf function. This you should practice. So address of n, address of n. So number of test cases, that means this first line it reads, this first number it reads, this one 3 it reads and stores in a n. Okay, so this will be stored in a n here. Okay, right. So next two numbers is entering now. So you declare two variables a and b, or x comma y also you can declare here. Okay, then for each test case you calculate third number and immediately print here. Okay, so that's why we require a for loop here. Okay, so for int I is equals to 1, then I less than or equals to n, number of test cases. It should repeat for all the test cases, no? So less than or equals to n, then say I plus plus. Okay, so here I am reading the first two numbers. Okay, so scanf I say percentage d and percentage d comma address of a comma address of b. Okay, so the first pair of numbers it reads. That means this 5 and 12 it reads. 5 will be stored in a and 12 will be stored in a b. Okay, now you calculate the third number immediately for this input. Okay, right? So how you can calculate the third number? Here you need to use square root function. So for that purpose you need to include math.h. Okay, so here include the header file math.h, because square root function definition is available in this header file. Okay, so you need to include this math.h. Okay, so what is the logic? How we calculated? So this third number c is equals to square root of a square plus b square. Okay, right? So here directly you can print that inside the print, say printf, or you can use, I'll show the two different ways here. So you can declare a variable int c is equals to, okay, so then you can say square root of sqrt, square root of a square plus b square. Okay, so it is nothing but a star a plus b star b, b star b. Okay, so this calculates a square root of a square plus b square. Okay, so then you can print that c value here, say printf. But while printing you should print all the three numbers, yes or no? A, B and C you should print here. Okay, so that's why what you have to do, you have to say here percentage d, then say percentage d, three numbers you should print here. Okay, so A comma B and C, these three numbers you should print. So then immediately you will get on the output this one 5, 12 and 13 you will get on the output. Okay, and similarly what happens, I plus plus, I becomes 2 here. Okay, so then scanf reads the next two numbers. Okay, 14, 16 it reads, then it calculates the third number, then 14, 16, 21 will be printed in the next iteration. Okay, so then end of the loop reaches I plus plus, I value becomes 2 here, 2 less than or equal to, sorry, I value becomes 3, 3 less than or equal to 3, yes. So then scanf means it reads next two numbers, 8 and 6 it reads, then calculates this C value, 10 it calculates, then the three numbers, okay, 8, 6 and 10 will be printed in the next iteration. So then becomes I value, I plus plus means I value becomes 4, 4 less than or equal to 3, false. Comes out from the loop, then your program ends, return 0 means your program ends here. That's how it prints all the three outputs. Okay, so this is the logic. Now let us run this code. Okay, now it is asking for n value. Okay, so 3 number of test cases you should enter now. Okay, so then you enter these three numbers. Okay, so 5 and 12. This is the first test case. Now you can see 5, 12, 13 printed. Don't worry. Okay, so in online environment, your output will be printed in this fashion only, because this input you are not entering. Here for practice, we are entering the input. That's why we can see immediately the output printed here. Okay, but in online environment, only output will be printed, no? So that's why you will get the same feeling, 5, 12, 13, 4, 16, this one. Okay, so this way you should practice here. Don't worry. Then next pair of input, 14, 16. 14, 16. See, 14, 16, 21, it has printed. Then next pair of input, 8, 6. Now you can see 8, 6, 10, it has printed. Okay, so this way we can calculate the third side of the right angle triangle or hypotenuse, we can say, and we can print the three numbers which form the Pythagorean triplet. Clear? If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and do share to your friends, and also click on the bell icon.